What's up, America? This is Kim and Neil with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about one-handed shooting. And a lot of people think, well, why do I need to practice one-handed shooting? And why would this be practical, Neil?
Well, you might be in a scenario where your other hand is incapacitated, maybe it was injured, hurt. Maybe the bad guy has grabbed onto that hand and you don't have that one available.
Maybe I'm trying to hit you with it.
Yeah, maybe you're trying to move the loved one out of the way and you only have one hand available. So there's a lot of realistic reasons why we may have to rather use one hand, especially in a self-defense scenario. Plus, it's just a good fundamental to learn. Shooting with both hands to be competent.
So two important things is you should practice with both hands, not just your dominant hand, also your non-dominant hand. And another thing is that your other hand always has to be touching your body. So that's always a fun joke in class, because I always go, are you touching yourself?
That's right. That's right.
So make sure you're touching yourself. So with your extra hand, you can grab your belt.
Your belt, by the way.
Your shoulder. You can put it back here like you're protecting your neck and your back of your head, wherever you like, as long as you're touching yourself.
And the reason behind that, other than being funny to say, is that we want to be spatially aware of that hand. You never want to, especially if you've not done this before, and hopefully you're doing this under professional instruction. You're not just watching this video and doing that. But in that case, it's very easy for us because we're concentrated on what we're going to do here and make the mistake of crossing that muzzle over our hand. So then it comes to how we actually do that. And again, another crowd pleaser is we talk about how we're actually going to align our hand. And what I mean by that is I like to shoot very erect, okay? Right?
Yes.
Meaning that's very up and down, okay? However, we don't punch like this. We have more structural alignment as we have a little cant to our hand. So I'm going to demonstrate this live in a minute. So there is no hard and fast rule. You might want to shoot more erect like me, or you might want to shoot with a little bit of a cant to it. Not like you're robbing a 7-Eleven, but a little bit of a cant to give you some more structural alignment. You might even mix it up. So maybe you're on your dominant hand, you're shooting more erect, and then when you go to your support hand, you have more of a cant because it's weaker and you need that support. It doesn't really matter. Again, as long as we're making contact and we have that good alignment, that's all that really matters. One of the big issues is trying to control recoil. When it comes to managing recoil, yes, I realize we only have one hand on the gun. But in our minds, we go, well, then we have to work twice as hard. And I promise you, when you do that, you're going to end up really anticipating that round. I mean, you're going to chuck them in the ground, especially on your not dominant hand that you don't shoot you don't shoot often with. So again, let recoil happen. I'll even do a little demonstration on recoil here in a second. It's not that big a deal. What is a big a deal is putting that round where it needs to go. Before we get started, let's talk about managing recoil. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shoot this gun with as little grip as possible. And what I really want you to focus on is how much the gun actually recoils, which is going to be, say, not as much as you think. So the way we're going to set this up, I'm just going to put my finger on here and my thumb in the back. Really, the only other finger that's touching this is my middle finger, just to balance the gun. All right, and then I'm just going to add pressure. So again, there's literally nothing behind this gun. And as we do this, and you can see that there's such little pressing back that it actually caused a limp wrist, but the gun really doesn't move all that much. Again, don't do this at home. I just had some pressure to the gun, and not that big a deal. That said, when we're going to do this live here in a second, don't try to really muscle the gun. Just let it happen. Here we go with strong hand first. Again, as Kim said, make sure you're touching yourself. We have contact, so I'm spatially aware. I'm going to get my good grip. Again, you can use two hands to build your grip if you need to, but then before we do anything, as you can see, my finger nowhere near the trigger. I'm making good contact on my body. Okay, I'm going to drive out like I normally would. Again, if you're not experienced with this, hopefully your trainer is telling you to try both ways. You want to try with the gun very erect, and again, I'm just slowly pressing the trigger here, and then I'm going to cant the gun a little bit. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm making good contact here, finding myself, and I'm pressing the trigger. Okay, that's strong hand, and of course my finger's off the trigger. Now I'm going to go to my support hand, or my non-dominant hand rather. Again, Good contact with my body, whichever direction you want to do. Same concept here. I'm finding it. I'm not worried about recoil. I'm just letting the gun do its thing. And the gun may recoil more. So now if we look at it from a two-hand perspective when I shoot the gun, obviously recoils less. But at the end of the day, if we look at the target there, we're all in the A zone. We have accurate shots, and that's all that really matters. To wrap that video up, in case you were curious, that is the Welfare PDP. We have a review that's, I don't know, it'll be out before or after this video. It's chaotic. I don't know. We do the best we can with the time that we have, which is very little. And
we have winter to deal with now too, so not only our crazy schedules, but also the weather.
That's true.
And it might look sunny, but it's freezing out here.
It's very cold. Very cold.
We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a like, a thumbs up, a share, a comment. We always love to hear from you guys. You can find us here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Rumble, and of course you can find us on Patreon where we put our A-list stuff. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.